So for those of you who might not know me, my name is MJ. I'm super happy to be a product of Tacoma and you know, the Tacoma program. So my Evergreen journey started in Olympia. So I moved to Olympia to go to Evergreen after being in community college for a number of years and not really making a whole lot of traction, not really finding, you know, finding what I really was interested in studying. And I was initially drawn to Evergreen by the term interdisciplinary learning and the idea that nothing that we do, think, say, or feel exists in a vacuum, right? All of these things that we experience in life are so like deeply and intimately connected. Um, and I think that my time at Evergreen and Olympia was really formative in figuring out exactly where my passions lie and what I wanted to do. So the first program I took was called Place and Displacement, and it was kind of like an urban studies, history, anthropology program that focused on kind of the tagline of what makes people feel connected to a place and feel a sense of belonging and what unsettles that. And so one of the projects that we did was a soundscape project. Actually, Trey, if you could throw up those pictures real quick. So we did a soundscape project that was focused on the Belltown neighborhood in Seattle. And so this picture on the far left here is some field recording that we did. And the idea of this project was to kind of infuse like a modern perspective on the history of this area with kind of how things changed geographically, culturally, socially. And this was the first time I was introduced to the term like sociological perspective. And I would later come to know that as a sociological imagination. And that's something that kind of like really pulled together a lot of what I was interested in terms of interdisciplinary learning. And this project that we did, this soundscape, was really one of the things I'm the most proud of because it really focused on a lot of different issues that I feel like are really important. And it just gave me the opportunity to work collaboratively with a group, which is like my first real experience doing that. And so when I was in Olympia, I also started working for Boys and Girls Clubs down there. And that was also really impactful because I, found a drive for working with youth and kind of getting them to experience their own connections out there in the world. And this picture in the middle here with my Boys and Girls Club stuff on was an award that I got from South Puget Sound Boys and Girls Clubs, where I started working later for basically I built a teen program out of nothing. We had 5 kids that were really wanting to build a program. And then by that summer, we had like 30 or 40 kids in the room every day. So that was really important to me too. And just throughout my time at Evergreen, I've had so many wonderful experiences working on all of these different projects with people. The bottom right photo here is from Spring Fair last year. We did kind of like just kind of an arts workshop. We did some percussion workshops. I brought my drum set in, let some kids play on that. We did some poetry workshops and things of that nature. And I think we really are able to build connections with youth and like get them to see how their lives connect to these bigger sociological issues like housing justice, educational achievement gaps, food justice, all these other things that we have to address within our communities. And I think that a lot of the solutions to these problems really might be a product of Evergreen Tacoma specifically, in terms of like looking at like power dynamics in US politics, or the viability and reality of cooperatively owned and operated business models and economics, or other things like the public health implications of industrialized food and what that means for our communities. And these are things that you can't really sum up with words or a quick synopsis of the issue. Like we really grapple with these things kind of in our daily life and in the classroom. And I think that Evergreen has really taught me that learning, for me, it's like a disruption of knowledge and things that I already know and it kind of disrupts your perspective on something. And I think Evergreen Tacoma specifically gives you a safe place to kind of sit with that discomfort and really learn from your peers and your faculty. And I think that my lived experience really impacts my learning too, and has kind of driven me forward and kind of backed up what I learn. And then what I learn has also reinforced or unsettled, my values. The kind of the middle picture here is the Philadelphia skyline with, my, vegan straight edge political band that I tour with. And then the top right is our European tour crew. Throughout my, 4 years at Evergreen, Olympia, and Tacoma, I got to go to Europe twice. And while I didn't do any formal study abroad, I was still, studying and, taking in new perspectives and information on those tours I went on. So Trey, if you can cut back to the video, that would be great for this last part. So I'm going to end with kind of a quote from a band called Trial, very political, vegan, straight edge band also. And the quote is, "Take what you feel inside this room and break away. I'll bring the feeling of this moment when I leave. Envision what life could be if we move beyond comfort and ability." And to me, those words kind of symbolize the power of our education and of our knowledge. And we have to take this further. We have to take this outside of the classroom, outside of the academic setting, into our community and really work towards these solutions to all of these issues that we explore. And I think that we really have power to do that outside of these rooms. You take what's in this room and you go beyond it. You take that power and you do something with it. And Evergreen has just empowered me to continue doing that in my community, in my personal life, everywhere. So I'm super, super happy to have been a part of this community. I'm really feeling the kind of loss of not being able to see all of you in person, but I know that like the impact, I'll have felt it forever, and I cannot overstate how important that is to me. So just to wrap up, I want to give a shout out to my coworker Shaya. She's here as a potential prospective student. Super happy to have her here. She's been a very positive force in my life for like 5 or 6 years now, so that's awesome. My mother and my stepfather Tom are here, and my sister Jade is here as well. So I just want to give a shout out to them. And I can't wait until we can all be in the same room, sharing these experiences again. So that's it. Thank you all so much.